Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Gamma Effect. What up, YouTube? This is your host, Gamma, coming at you with another video today. American men cannot afford U.S. women, but what men can? This is the question I want to know today. What men can actually afford these women? Who has enough money? American men are broke, apparently, but American men, from a global standpoint, do pretty dang well. The average salary of an American man is about $42,000 or $45,000 a year, right? Which is like, I think 3,800 roughly, less than 4,000. I think 3,700, 3,600, something around those levels. But when you extrapolate that globally, it's actually not bad, comparative. There's a few countries that do a little bit better. I think the Swedish people do a little bit better. I think Singaporean men make a little more money. But, you know, globally, it's actually pretty good. Definitely in the top five. Definitely in the top five. So I want to know who can afford these women who actually make enough money, right? So we'll be breaking down incomes. I got a few different scenarios. But first, let's see what American women, U.S. women, Western modern women actually think. What do they think about money? How much a man needs to make to date them, to be worthy, and what's acceptable? Let's see. First, I've got this young man, very young man. He's kind of popular on YouTube, and he does some different things, but he's pretty intelligent. But even as an intelligent man, he's got a very strong respect for men working hard to make money. It's inherent in how he talks. And he's talking to these women, and they laugh because they don't have a respect for men and the money they make. So let's take a look.
What are you laughing at? You're laughing at... Yeah, you're laughing.
Okay, here we
He's
go.
actually pretty prosperous. He's making close to $40,000 a year. But what are you laughing at? You're laughing at...
Very low income.
You know, what do you think the average income is?
The average minimum is 100 now. That's really making it. In California especially too. That's like minimum wage.
Okay, so what she's saying is that minimum, bare minimum is $100,000 USD, right? What that comes out to a little more than $8,000 a month, $2,000 a week. And she says that's like minimum wage, barely making it. Keep in mind, this is an OnlyFans lady who shows her sexuality on film to make money, you know, probably $10 a month or $15 a month or something like that. And that's how she earns. So she doesn't have really a healthy respect for hard work, right? That's what's going on in the U.S. This young man does. And just to explain to you who this young man and who this young man is and how his brain works, I'll show you another clip that's kind of funny.
People who don't know how to read.
You're literally 15. What do you know?
I didn't know that I was gonna be talking to a bunch of illiterate people who don't know how to read.
You're literally 15. What do you know?
Bro, you know how to read.
Yes, I do know how to read.
Name 10 books.
Are you serious?
Yes, 100%. Name 10 books.
Well, I read Game of Thrones. I'm obsessed with like the Twilight
book
series.
called?
Game of Thrones, the
Don't ever.
series.
Now, this is once again, an OnlyFans girl. Got a porn star on her shirt. Now, she is Asian, but she's the American kind. She's not traditional at all. She's into this new age stuff. So her information and her speaking pattern and everything she says, her perspective is going to be like a U.S. woman. Bear in mind, I know she looks the part, but on the inside, she's definitely a basic Western woman. She's talking about the books that she's read.
What's the book called? It's not called Game of Thrones. She's just trying to come up with a bunch of nonsense and she can't name any actual books.
Bro, shut up, kid.
10 books.
You're changing the subject,
Okay,
actually.
3 books.
Okay. Well, the Game of Thrones series,
That's not a book.
Twilight
I
series.
want the name
It
of
is
the
a
book.
book. It is a book.
No, but I want the name
You
of the
know what?
book.
I'll Google the book right now. Matter of fact, you want to show me?
That negates the point.
Let me show you the series since you don't believe me. I'll show you since you don't believe me.
The book is called Song of Ice and Fire. Now, before you embarrass yourself by looking up the name of a book, she couldn't even actually name a single book. She doesn't know how to read. She's clearly illiterate.
Okay, so he's obviously, an intelligent 15-year-old guy. He reads a lot. He's challenging on her ability to read. He's talking to them and he's having a conversation. He's annoyed because he perceives them as illiterate. And she kind of proves his point because he asked her about 3 books that she's read and she failed to come up with one. And then she had to end up Googling the name of the book that she cited, and he just gave her the name because it wasn't what she said. He knew the movie that she was talking about. The book has a different title. And this young man respects a hardworking man that makes $40,000 a month or a year, I'm sorry, which comes down to about roughly $900 a week. He has respect, but the women that he's talking to don't. Once again, they're OnlyFans ladies. All right, so let's break off. And I want to explain that men do pretty well. Hardworking men, they are good enough. Men, you are positive. You do really well, especially on a global level. Don't take the opinions of these delusional women who really don't know the value of hard work and money and making money. They really don't. I got college students in America who really thinks it's no big deal to say a man needs to make $1 million or $500,000 or a minimum $100,000 to even go on a date with them. Meanwhile, these are not supermodel high-end women. These are women, I believe this is at Arizona State University, which is actually one of the cheapest universities in the country. They have like 70,000 students, and the tuition's not extremely high. It's not even anywhere close to an Ivy League. It's a state school. And they require 6 figures minimum up through the millions. And when you look at them, they're average women. I'm not saying anything bad or disparaging, but they're just the normal average woman that you see in America. You know, not good, not bad, nothing positive or negative, just the normal run-of-the-mill women. You know, just like myself, I'm an average man. I'm not trying to say that being average is bad. I'm just saying their expectations to be average is very above average. So let's take a look.
Hi guys, so my question for you is how much money do you think a guy should make per year?
Depends where they live. I mean, if I'm like dating them, it'd be nice if they were at least making 100,000.
I have no clue.
Like $1 million, $2 million?
Okay.
$1 million, $2 million per year. Other ladies, 100,000. Now, look real close. Look at this lady. She's just her hair's in a ponytail, a little bit of blonde, got on a t-shirt. You look at her clothes, she's just real average. Maybe she's a bit tall. Her height is above average, but she's just a really normal Caucasian lady, you know? And she requires $1 million to $2 million. And she says it's so easy, like that's just a normal amount of money.
Hey, we're at ASU, you know, so you're not going to find him here.
Like fully like adult.
Someone that you would consider wanting to be with the rest of your life.
300K.
3 figures?
Okay.
Okay, 300K, the last lady said. 300K, so that's about $25,000 a month, which is, you know, probably maybe I don't even think 0.25% of men make that. And when I say 0.25%, I mean 4 of those guys come into 1%, like literally 0.25% probably make that much money.
So why is that?
Just because, like, that's a stable income, I'd say.
100, like 500 grand? Is that a lot?
No, that's 500 is
Like normal?
on a good.
She said $500,000 a year, and then she said, "Is that a lot? That's like normal, right?" They just have no clue what they're talking about. They have no clue. And so when you have a group of women talking like this on a mass level, and then they're exporting culture, and it permeates through social media, they try to shame men and make them feel bad about not making that much. But, you know, hopefully foreign women don't pick this up and think that it's acceptable. It's absolutely delusional. Absolutely. This is a product of growing up in a first world nation and not knowing anything about hard work and money.
Day, yeah. I mean, it depends.
Okay. A lot. We're expensive.
Yeah. Millions.
Mills, shit.
Look at them. Very average girls. Very average. And she's saying we're expensive. Millions. And their posture isn't even good. Very average. I mean, I don't want to say anything negative or anything, but like they're just extremely average. The lady doing the interview looks better than the girls, you know, make millions of dollars a year just to date them. Oh my God. The inflation of their ego is amazing.
Okay.
I don't really care. I like when guys like pay for dates and stuff.
So if a guy made $30K a year, is that something you're okay with?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Like your husband?
Oh, shit. Husband. Yeah, I think that would be fine. If it was my husband, I'd be in love with him, so yeah.
I wouldn't really say I would have a price on that. I mean, as long as they treat me respectfully.
Minimum 6 figures, no matter what the situation is.
We have an expensive lifestyle.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally understand. We got to get good skincare routine, you know, the whole 9 yards.
100,000.
120K.
I think most people watching this video would say these are all average women. They just fall into that category. They're not above average, they're not below average. They're just running across, you know, they're not rare. Put it like that. But men who make 100,000, 500,000, they're rare, extremely rare. It's not easy to do. But that's the state in U.S. Western life. That's what's going on. That's why the marriage rates are crazy. That's why the divorce rates are crazy. It's just the math ain't mathing.
80K and like maybe like 120.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say like 80 to 150.
Over 100K. Once you get to a certain age, like, I don't know, I'm also kind of like a gold digger, so. No, I'm planning on just like supporting myself with my income. So I don't really plan on being supported by the person that I'm dating.
What is the lowest you would go, though?
500,000.
I could have a nice settled life with like a 200,000 a year. Like
Okay.
200,000 a year. That's the lowest number, and that is $16,500 a month. That is what? 4,000 a week? Getting up there.
normal, great, yeah.
What's the lowest, though, that you would go for?
I don't think money is that big. Maybe like a.
It has to be. You just said 1 or 2 mil. Would you be down for 80?
Yeah, 80, 60. That'd be fine.
Okay. Okay, that's fair enough.
$500,000.
I'm sticking with 100,000. He's gotta, you know. Yeah, I would agree.
8,000 a month, bare minimum. Bare minimum's got to be. Nothing else. For you to have the prize of these average United States Caucasian women.
100,000, preferably.
I mean, as long as they're stable, like have a good job, like a car and a house. I don't think like money cares. Like it's not that high on my list, I'd say.
Well, I would probably say the lowest I would consider going is 65,000 a year, because then, like, if they're young, they have room for improvement and they can get promotions and work their way up.
Would you be comfortable with making more money than your guy or no?
Okay, the questions kind of veer into a different direction at this point, but we get the gist of it. That's their standard, and this is just the basic woman. Now, let me give you a little contrast to that. Let's look at the Philippines, because a lot of passport bros love the Philippines. Southeast Asia is a hot ticket item as far as vacation spots or places that passport bros like to travel to. So let's do a comparison on the income and see why there's just better chemistry with a Asian woman, a traditional Asian woman, and a Western, U.S. woman. It comes down to environment. Women are women. They have financial needs and expectations of anyone that they date, and men understand this well. but you're going to get a better deal. Now, bear in mind, Western women don't cook, don't clean. They're not going to do anything for you. You're going to do everything for them, and then they still require that minimum. Asian women, they do cook and clean and take care of the house and do everything they can for the family. So you do objectively get more from the Asian women. They do more. But then we're going to talk about the prices and what they expect. And they have to have these expectations in line because it wouldn't be reality in their country if the incomes work out this way. So let's take a look at this one.
Oh, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Average salaries here in the Philippines. A farm worker, 3,000 to 5,000 peso a month.
Okay, so he's talking in pesos, and I know from experience that the dollar to pesos is 55 to 1. So when you get to 5,000 pesos, you're looking at about a little less than $100, about $90. 3,000 is probably about 50 to 60 bucks a month. But this is a farmer, right? They live a different lifestyle. They have chickens and they live off the land more so. So they're not making a ton of money, but they've got a different lifestyle, like off the grid. So no shame. I mean, it's all good, but that's just a comparison.
A doctor, 50,000 to 75,000 peso per month.
Okay, now a doctor. Okay, so they're probably living in a major city or the industrial part of the town. They're not living on the land. They're paying for a place. They're paying for a car. They're using transportation, electricity, internet, the whole nine, right? Kind of a modern lifestyle. Now they're making 55,000 to 75,000 or 50,000 to 75,000, which is about $980 to about $1,500 a month. This is a doctor, an MD, right? So at the high end, they're making $1,500 a month. American men average about $3,800 a month, right? So you do the math, brothers, passport bros. You work remotely, making average salary. You'll be making 2 to 2.5 times what a doctor makes in the Philippines. And I'm pretty sure the Filipino women will appreciate you and appreciate what you bring to the table. American women won't. They would snub their nose at a Filipino doctor. My gosh. They would look at him like he is just, I wouldn't even say it, but they'll look at him like he's not worthy of to date them, even though they're average in the U.S. Average women will snub their nose at a Filipino doctor. That's a fact.
Dentist, 50,000 to 60,000 per month.
Okay, similar, maybe $1,000 to $1,200 a month for the dentist. Went to school a long time, got a lot of education, very smart individual.
An accountant, 45,000 per month peso. A cashier in a store, 5,000 to 7,000 peso a month.
Okay, 5,000 to 7,000. So you're looking at $100 to $125, maybe $135 a month for, a cashier worker in a store. An accountant, I think he said 45,000, looking at about $900 a month for an accountant, a professional.
I will do a video and talk more.
Okay, so that's the Philippines. That's why brothers do well when they travel there. Passport bros, Passport Joes, all of our American brothers, Caucasian brothers, all of them, Latino brothers. Actually, I heard Latino men do very well in the Philippines because you are a foreigner, but you pass as a Filipino. When people look at you in public, that you pass, and they think you're just a normal Filipino couple. And so Filipinos are pretty attracted to Latino men, Mexican men. And also, if you look at the history, the Spanish colonized Mexico and the Philippines at the same time during history. So you guys are kind of like cousins. You got the same kind of mix as far as at least the Spanish blood. So it makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So now I'm going to show you the difference in wages around the world. Income. They're going to be denominated in US dollars, so you can get a understanding of all around the world, 195 countries. I'm not sure if we got them all here, but all around the world, the different incomes. So you're going to see just how elitist these Western modern American women are. They're quite elitist. And so when they offer up advice, I think foreign women should take it with a grain of salt when you compare what they say versus what the reality of the world is. And these are hard numbers. Let's take a look. Okay, so we got Syria, Nigeria, Pakistan, Ethiopia, a few African countries and Middle Eastern countries. We starting at, this doesn't have all the countries, it only has 108 of them. But we starting at 70 USD as far as the monthly income. Ethiopia, you're looking at $200 USD. So as American women complain about American men not having enough money and being too broke, who are they going to replace you with? Who can afford them? If they can't deal with American men because we're broke and unworthy, who's worthy of these average U.S. women? Who's worthy? Are U.S. women by far the most beautiful women on the planet? No. Do they serve you and treat you the best on the planet? Not at all. Matter of fact, it's probably on the worst end. Why are they worthy of so much? It's just the environment. It's what they grew up in. It doesn't matter whether they're worthy to ask for such. It doesn't matter if they have a value that commands as much. It doesn't matter. This is just what they think. So on a global scale, it's an extreme delusion. And the U.S. scale, it's still delusional, but it's not extreme because they've seen it. They've seen wealthy men, so that's what they expect. But on a global level, it's crazy. It's absolutely delusional. Absolutely. Let's see. So they, at a minimum, they need at least $8,000 a month. Some say $16,000. Some say up into $500,000 a year to a couple million a year, which is like hundreds of thousands a month. So let's see. Let's go down the list. Okay, so we got, Sri Lanka, Egypt, Algeria, Venezuela. We're finally getting up to $250 a month. And these are hardworking men making this money. At the end of the month, they got about $250 for you. Now we get to Ghana. Ghana, some places that American women actually talk about, especially the sisters, the melanated sisters, talk about going to Ghana and getting them a handsome Ghanaian, a man from Ghana. He's making less than $300 a month. Hard to replace the American man who's making over $3,000, 10 times the amount. But they still complain. Now we're looking at, two countries where passport bros like to visit. Indonesia and Philippines, right? About $300 a month. I think we can make that. Brothers, at the bare minimum, even if you just got a pension for the military, you're probably getting $1,500 a month. Even if you're just retired with your Social Security, you're probably making over $1,000 a month. An average salary there is $300, so you're tripling that. Your pension is looking like a doctor's salary. So it just works. Now, the American women are shaming passport bros, saying, oh, you're just going there because those women are desperate. Those women have no education. That's the only reason that they want you. It's really disrespectful because at the end of the day, these are just different economies. They're developing economies. So the numbers work different. And that's just a reality of it. And American women act like what they're doing is normal and they're not in a big elite superpower that have primacy for last 100 years. That's the bottom line, but they don't even acknowledge that reality. They don't even accept the men who built that superpower up. They don't even respect them. They don't even appreciate the environment that they've given to them. They still complain. Okay, now we're into some other Passport Bro locations. Dominican Republic, Brazil, Peru, averaging around $350 a month. I heard American women talk highly of Brazilian men, how handsome they are. Maybe they can make a trade. We'll take the Brazilian woman. They'll take the Brazilian man. But men don't care about money. We just care about femininity, beauty, and ability to have a family with her and how she treats us. So we win. The Brazilian woman is perfect for that. She's great. I'm not saying the Brazilian man there's anything wrong with them, but, you know, they're great men too. But their income standard is not going to meet up with a U.S. woman. No U.S. woman. I'm talking any U.S. woman that's looking for provisioning isn't going to accept $350 a month. She's just not. So that won't work. The men can do it, but the women cannot do it. Same with Dominican Republic. Shout out to El Salvador, who's got a national currency of Bitcoin. Look out for them. El Salvador is a place we probably want to look at. Brothers probably want to look at because they could be the next powerful country, like not powerful, but like wealthy, like a Singapore. Even though it's small, it's got a lot of wealth. It could be in that range. Armenia, 389 USD. That's where the Kardashians are from. So obviously they came to America. Now they're billionaires. They could not have done that back home, and they obviously can't date the men from where they're from because the men make less than $400 a month. So they deal with Kanye and rich, famous American men like that. You know, it doesn't work out. I think they're all single. I don't think any of those ladies are married anymore. Okay, now we're looking at two spots. We got Thailand. A lot of brothers like to go there. $578 a month, and I concur. I've been to Thailand plenty. I spent a lot of time there, and that's about average. About $600 a month is what they can do, and so those women are looking at those numbers, and then of course they want above average. That's about the average. They want above that, but you know, if you got $1,500 a month, you qualify definitely. And then the sisters go to Jamaica, and those men make about $600. You know, they usually have girls trips, but they're bringing those men back to America because they just don't qualify. They don't make enough money. Who can afford American women? So far, none of these countries. It's been over 50 to 60 countries that's ran by this list. None of these men are adequate for what the U.S. Western woman is talking about. Okay, now we're starting to get into some European nations. The Spanish, almost $1,600 a month. Italians, $1,650 almost. And I've heard a lot of American women say they really enjoy those men. Spanish men, Italian men. You know, these guys get close. I mean, they're not closer to what American women want, what U.S. citizen, what these U.S. women want. But at least they're getting close to the average. I think American men make $3,000 something a month. On average, they're at $1,600. At least they're over the $1,000 threshold. But they're still falling short. But I know American women say that they're handsome and they like them. Okay, now we got Belgium, France, the UK, Finland, all European nations. The income is much higher for the average man. You know, I don't know if they're, well, the UK I'd say is a first world nation, and Europe in general are looked at as higher income economies. You know, when you put them all together, Europe is kind of a superpower. You know, as far as their economics and military strength. So I think they all ball up, and they're small countries. You put them all together, then yeah, they're pretty strong. But you look at their income; it's still less than $3,000 a month, which is $36,000 a year. And U.S. women are all talking about double, triple, quadruple that. So even these average men fall short. So average men aren't going to link up and match up or have the chemistry with average women. They're just not. These average women expect exceptional men. The top 1% of superpowers, the top 1% of developing nations probably still don't make enough. But the top 1% of superpowers can pull it off. That's the only men who qualify so far. Okay, more European nations. Germany's like the biggest economy in Europe. Ireland strong. Got the Netherlands, Hong Kong. I've seen ladies from Hong Kong talking about being traditional, even though their men make some of the highest income, ranked number 10 in the whole world. So it's getting there, but we still fall short to what the U.S. women are talking about as far as the income that they require. Okay, we're above 3,000. Qatar, which is Middle East country, that's got a lot of oil money and they do really well. That's 3,100. Denmark is 3,500. European nations. Okay, here we go. You got the U.S. at $3,594, roughly $3,600 per month. Times 12 per year is about a little over 40,000, 41, 42,000. Same with Australia. Singapore is looking at 48,000. Luxembourg looking at 50,000 a year. And meanwhile, U.S. is number 5. Australia is number 4. Singapore is number 3. And Luxembourg is number 2 in the whole wide world. These are the top average income. And, you know, they're pushing 40 to 50,000, right? 40 to 50,000 right here. And that's not even close to the numbers that these women, average women from the U.S. just out of university are saying that they need. And these aren't even high maintenance women. They're just average. Number 1. Okay, Switzerland's number 1 with $6,342, which is about, what? Almost 80 grand, 70 something thousand, probably $75,000 a year, which is just sniffing the level of the low numbers that the average U.S. woman gave. So that's the bottom line. Switzerland basically has the highest income in the world, and they make about $75,000 on average. Some men make more, some men make less, but that's the average. So basically, if you're middle of the road in Switzerland, you're not good enough, but maybe they'll give you a shot. Maybe they'll give you a shot. You make $75,000 a year, maybe you can get an average U.S. woman, but she'll still be a little bit disappointed. And if she finds a man that makes more, she's gone. So that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. American men cannot afford U.S. women, but which men can? Well, maybe Switzerland. Yeah, I'd say maybe Switzerland. So one nation in the whole country. So keep that in mind when you hear on social media and American women are talking and they're shaming Western men about being broke, not having enough money. Well, I advise them to go to Switzerland. I mean, it's cold, but I'm sure the people are nice. They make a good amount of money. Go to Switzerland. You can't tell them to go anywhere else. Mexico, Canada, nope. Those are definitely under $3,000 a month. I think Mexico is like under $600 a month. So they got to fly a long way to find anyone that can even come close. Singapore, about $50,000 a month, but there are, they can't get to the highest levels of society if a Singapore man wants an American woman. It's possible. I think Caucasian women are pretty desired around the planet, especially in Asia. So maybe Australia could do it. That's a Western nation. So that could possibly work. But American men, look at all these countries that you can go to and run your income against their income, right? El Salvador is beautiful. Peru, Brazil, Dominican Republic, they're making $300, $400 a month. Colombia, Indonesia, Philippines, $300 a month. So they say we only go to these poor nations. Venezuela, maybe the economy is a little tough there, and politically it's probably not very good there right now. Ghana, you got Ethiopian, you got some beautiful women in Africa. Algeria, Egypt, Nepal, Ethiopia, they're making $200 a month. So if you put your income, your USD, up against certain nations, I think it works out. It looks like American men are actually kind of the prize. You've got a lot of advantage. And men are pretty well-mannered. We're pretty decent men. We're generous. We're tall. We're big men. We can protect. We can provide. Oh, I really think the solution is just to stop talking to them. Stop listening to them. Because at the end of the day, the game of power is this. You can never win with words, and that's all they're doing is talking words. At the end of the day, your actions have to speak. And your actions should be to get a passport, get on an airplane, and go to where you're appreciated. And leave them with whoever doesn't have the point of view and a perspective out of the box to get up and go and experience, another part of the earth. So when it's all said and done, you're looking at the man above as to why your life sucked. He's probably going to say, look, I gave you the whole earth, all these beautiful mountains and forests and animals and cultures and foods and experiences, and you just stayed where you were. I didn't make you a tree. I made you a human. You could have went anywhere you wanted, and you have the advantage of being able to earn USD, which no one can take away, and you sat there your whole life and dealt with those situations in that culture that you complained about. That's on you. So remember, man, if you bring her back to the U.S. after she's accustomed to a society where her men make $300 or $400 a month, and you let her get around these women with these crazy standards, and she changes, then you get what you deserve. It's your own fault. This is the Gamma Effect. You found value, which I know you did in this video. You're looking at the numbers all around the world. So when they shame you, it should bounce off you because you know the numbers. You know the income. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know what you think about your standing as a man. Women, let me know what you think about your fellow U.S. women's standards. Foreign women, let me know what you think about American men and their ability to earn. Are they enough for you? That's all I got today. I'll see you guys later. This is a Gamma Fact. Peace.